Welcome to Lemonade Yoga. I'm Sandy Till. Today's class we will work on introducing classical sun salutations. And so a lot of the work that we've done up to this point is building to these strengths and abilities. So we did in our last class some upward facing dog and some cobras. And in a few classes before that, we worked with lunges and planks. And after we do our warm-up, today we will do a sequence which is considered a flow sequence in yoga, which means we are connecting each pose in a smooth operation with our breath. And we'll do classical sun salutations. There are a few specific sequences out there, A series, B series. This is classical suns today, and it'll incorporate our lunges, our planks, and our baby back bends on our belly. So we'll begin today with awareness to breath. Go ahead and get comfortable for 6 breaths of just focusing on how your breathing is feeling right now and today. Maybe bringing your vision down, maybe closing your eyes. I invite you to do a little bit of both noticing where your breath goes easily, and then also where it doesn't go. And if you can, start to incorporate your breath into the places where it's not going. And now keeping that very focus on breath with each posture, let's move into our side bend over the ear. I'll start with my left leg straight and my right knee bent. I'm a little stiff today, so I'm going to take my modifications that allow for that to be more comfortable. So my hand's going to be out to the side of my hip today instead of on the inside of the leg. So just a variation. Walking your hand out onto your fingertips. Inhale, the right arm up. And exhale, rolling the top shoulder, ease down to your side bend. And then find your most comfortable spot for your neck. Maybe relaxing it over to the side. Maybe holding it up in a neutral place. Or maybe looking up towards the ceiling as you choose. We'll go for 4 to 6 breaths in each shape on each side. Come out of this side by inhaling and bringing the top arm up. And exhaling it down. Keep breathing as you switch to your second side. Find your legs comfortable. Walk your hand out onto your fingertips again. That just allows this bottom shoulder to have plenty of space as you lean over. Inhaling up and exhaling over. The bottom shoulder slides down. Focus your breath here. It's not uncommon to hold your breath, especially if you're doing new stuff. So catch that if you find yourself holding your breath, and just take a breath. And coming up for the seconds, easing out of the second side. Roll the shoulders around. Going to an easy twist here. I'm going to just come into crisscross applesauce for my twist. Right hand crossing over to the shin or the knee or the thigh, and the other hand reaching back. You'll inhale, lengthen up through the spine and the ribs. And as you exhale, gently spiral from your mid-back and up over towards your left side. I like to keep my neck neutral and out of the twist. Do your best to let your shoulders be relaxed and easy down your back. Easing forward, going to the second side. Inhale, lengthening again up through the ribs and waistline. Exhale, twist. And it's not super important that you're exhaling as you twist. You could be exhaling as you lift up. What is super important is that you're coordinating your breath with your movement. Every time you get into a shape, I invite you to do micro adjustments. Do a little bit of shimmying around here or there so that you can have your very best pose for you. And so that sometimes just means adjusting a little bit here and there. And I really do believe that that's the beginning of a relationship with your body and your practice, where you're listening, right? You're listening to what it has to say, what it needs, what it likes, what it doesn't. Coming back to center now, we'll move on to our abdominals, lying down for easy abs, and then abs with a block. We're just going to try to warm up here for these sun salutations because it's a fair bit of work. Okay, and I've got my roll here for my second set of abs. Let's go 6 rounds of each. Easy abs, hands are clasped up behind the skull bones, shoulders down and elbows kind of reaching up so that your shoulder girdles are holding the weight of your head. Gently press your the rim of your pelvic crest down and the low ribs gently down. Do your best to maintain that connection. So as you move around through this abdominals, that is a steady. Okay, so we'll inhale and go over to the left. Inhale, come back. Exhale to the right. Going back and forth at your own pace. If you feel your neck tightening up, use more of your arms. If this is easy for you, feel free to lift your knees off the floor and do the harder version. I think that's 4. And this will be 6. Great. Go ahead and rest a minute. Feel some of the heat that you're generating. And then we'll go right into abs with a block. For abs with a block, take your object that you're using, maybe a rolled up towel or a rolled up mat like I have here, or a foam block. Something forgiving is lovely because you are going to be squeezing it. Okay, so put that thing in between your legs, just as close to your body as you're comfortable with. Bringing again the hands up behind the head, low ribs and pelvic crest gently bearing down. Inhale. And through the whole exhale, long, long exhale, curl up and gently squeeze your legs around this object, like this. And for 6 times, inhale, release. Exhale, curl up and squeeze. Exhaling as you go up. Full inhale as you come down. And last one. Resting your head. Now today, just for fun, I'm going to leave the roll here while I do my bridge. And that's just another way of doing bridge. We have a million variations in bridge, which hopefully we'll get to. And so for today, I'll leave it here. And when you're working with an object like this between your legs for bridge, the goal is to keep the knees more over the ankles. So typically we would have our feet a little wider than your hip bones. But when you're working with an object like this, you want to keep your feet more like right under your knees for alignment. You don't want to tweak your knees out. So relaxing the arms down by the sides here. You'll inhale. Lengthen the tailbone with your exhale and lift up.
On your inhale, expand and open up through the ribs. So feeling for a big breath there. And then lengthening the waist as best you can by lifting up through the hips and reaching the knees away from you. Holding here for about 6 breaths. Always micro adjust. So typically it's your knees that are going to talk to you or your ankles. One thing that you might notice with your feet when you're working on standing postures and bearing weight through your legs is that you could really straighten your ankles. Now, I don't know if you can see my ankles well from here, but like my typical stance is to let my ankles roll in a little bit. So I can, if I send my ankle bones down and up, that gives me a lift through the legs and through the arches of the feet, which feels stronger and more stable. If you hate your roll, take it up. Now ease down, slowly lengthening the upper back, the mid back, the low back, and finally at the end, the hips. Notice what you've done. We're warming up a little bit quickly today, and so notice it as you go along.
Rolling over now for dolphin. In dolphin, we're going to be bearing some weight through the shoulders, and I think we have visited this shape before. So we'll start here by bringing the elbows down, and I really encourage you to not have a clothing on when you do this because the sticky mat helps you from sliding, and in this posture, it's not uncommon to have your elbows kind of slide out to the side. So starting with your elbows down like this, clasp your fingertips around your triceps, that's the back of your upper arms, and then clasp your hands in front as a beginner. If you're feeling more advanced and you don't have any injuries in your shoulder, then you're welcome to work your arms straight up. Okay, so here we are kind of hooking our elbows into the sticky mat. You'll lengthen that neck down and lift up through the upper back by pressing the elbows into the mat like this. Feel for connecting the full length of your wrist and forearm onto the mat, and then lean your weight into your shoulders. If you don't have any pain response with that, then you can move on to the next layer, which is going to be lifting your whole weight up off of your knees. So you'll move with breath. On exhale, I'm going to lift up and reach the chest a little bit towards my feet. Now I want to keep the spaciousness in the shoulder girdle, so it's important to keep lifting through the upper back and let your neck hang here. There's no reason for you to be lifting your head in this shape. Now if we were going to go into like what we call like a handstand or something, then we'd look up. But right now we're just here. Warming up the shoulders. I like to bend the knees a little here to take some of the pressure off of the upper back, and then you can reach the hips back, and that feels nice. That's one of the benefits of this shape. It feels good to do that. Now I'm holding this shape for a long time because I know that it will help me do my sons. And also it's not hurting. You know, if it was hurting, then you bring your knees down and take weight off of that until you're out of a pain response. Okay, so that's dolphin. And then we'll go ahead and sit up and take a moment, feel what you've done. Move a little bit of blood flow into the head with that. That's lovely. And then we'll stand up. So when I stand up here, I'm going to come to the top of my mat, this one long ways. And for sun salutations, what we'll be doing is going back and forth between standing and being on our belly. So bear with us while we navigate that. Start with, get adjusted here. Start with your feet about hips width. I mean, I want you to feel like you can stand up comfortably here. And then bring your hands together in prayer. Now, very traditional teaching will bring the toes together, and that kind of rolls your thigh bones inward. If that feels nice for you, you can do that. Now, I'm going to go through this Classical Sun Salutations quite slowly. When you move into a flow class and it's more up-leveled, it'll be one move per breath, which is kind of a lot and very quick. So today we'll do kind of a slow intro. Hands at prayer. Inhale, gently reach the arms up. And a baby back bend here. So just arcing back a little bit, shoulders are down and relaxed by your sides. We'll take another inhale and exhale to forward bend. And then stepping into lunge, we'll start with our left foot. We'll lead with the left foot on this first round. So I'm stepping back to lunge, back knee down, back foot flat. Press down through the back leg and the front heel so that when you inhale and come up to your knee, you are, stable. If you're feeling a little unbalanced, then widen your stance. Try that. And then we'll work on this fantastic move, which if you're balanced is kind of cool. You'll inhale and reach your arms up as you lunge forward and take a mini back bend. Okay, so it looks like this. Fantastic. Okay, now what we'll do is come forward into plank position. Now push up. I'm going to go for full plank. Sometimes you'll put your knees down like this, and that's great. Today I feel pretty strong, so I'm going to go ahead and put them straight. Now you'll exhale, shoulders away from the ears and pulling away from the floor as you come down for your cobra. I do low cobra, hands are a little further forward. Here, press down through the feet and inhale, bring the elbows up. That will be... It's good to hold this pose for a few breaths, especially if you're doing a lot of back bends. It may be a quick move in your class, but always feel for pulling the chest forward rather than pushing back. So your arms are strong and they can pull your chest forward, which creates some spaciousness in your spine bones. Okay, now releasing down and going to downward facing dog. Okay, so you'll come down, bring the hands under the shoulders. And again, shoulder blades are back and away from the floor here. Belly pulls in. Exhale. Press back. Ease to downward facing dog. It's nice to take a minute here. Maybe step one foot to the other side and stretch your legs. And for lunge on the other side, we'll lead with the left foot. So you'll inhale, and you can bring your shoulders over your wrists as you step up to give yourself space for the step. So be inhaling. Step the foot as far forward as you can get it. And then step it all the way up. Back foot needs to press down or you'll fall over like you just saw me teeter a little. That is what it's about. And then we'll inhale and scoop up. If it's too hard for you to hold your arms up yet, then leave them on your blocks here on the sides or on your knee, and it's totally fine. Okay. And then exhaling forward. So we'll bring the hands down, step forward, relax the neck, and either curl or reach up. If your back is tender and you tend to spasm, then roll up like this. If you want to strengthen your back and you don't have any back injuries, then I invite you to come from here, straight back, reach your arms up, which will engage your latissimus muscles, your back muscles, and then bring yourself all the way up to standing. Exhale to prayer. Okay? So that's one round of Classical Sun Salutations. And we did it quite slowly. So we'll do this next one again and just feel how much work it is. And then when you get strong enough, you'll be able to do, 10 rounds in a class. And then you get really warm and you can do more of our kind of fancy pants tricks. Okay? Second round. From the top of your mat, again, hands at prayer. Lengthen tailbone down. Inhale, reach the arms up and back. Exhale, forward. Right foot steps back for lunge. Right knee down, back foot flat. Inhale, reaching up. Let's lunge forward for a few breaths just to get a sense of that. If that feels good for you. If it doesn't, then don't do it. Okay, and then hands down, push-up position, plank pose. Shoulders back, away from the floor as you ease down. Inhale, scoop up to your back bend for 3 breaths. Pull the chest roll. Ease down. Hands under shoulders, shoulders pulled away from the floor. Exhale, press back. Downward facing dog. Take another breath or two here. This is just a nice place to stretch your legs. And bearing a little bit of weight through your arms is not a bad thing, unless you're in pain. Okay? Lunge on the second side. You'll inhale the right foot forward, getting it high as you can, and then stepping up. Eventually, you will be able to step all the way up and just make it one smooth move. And relax, sink down the hips. Keep your front heel flat if you can. Gently press the back foot and shin bone into the ground to keep your back leg working. And release. Hands down, step forward. Relax the neck, and then inhale, come on up to standing. Hands in prayer. That is your round. That is a second round of classical sun salutations. All right, so that's pretty energizing. Let's go ahead and wind down now because we have a 30-minute spot today. So we'll come back down onto the floor and go for back release, and then back traction, and then resting, okay? So starting here for back release, go ahead and lie on the ground. And what you'll do is cross your ankle over your knee, reach through and grab onto your thigh or your knee, whatever you can comfortably reach today. And with your exhale, gently draw your legs in towards your chest. Find an edge that's workable, meaning that you can bring your attention to the area and stay with deep breath without having a pain response. And gently releasing from that. Take a moment, notice the difference between your left and right side. And switch. Inhale, reach up, grab on. And as you exhale, gently draw your legs in towards your body. Very good. And then easing the feet down. Take a moment to feel what you've done. And for back traction, hands are going to come with the palm right onto the top of the thigh. So for this one, take a breath in. And as you exhale, gently press down on the legs. Feel for letting the low back arc up. And also feel for bringing the low back down into the floor. And notice if one of those is better for you than the other. And choose the one that you like. We're using this as a wind down pose, so just preparing for resting time.
Shavasana, final resting position. Get very comfortable for this. If you're cold at all, cover yourself. And if your body's asking for anything else before you rest, then do that before we come down. One thing that I really like to do, I'll just add here since we have a moment, is sacrum circles. So you bring your knees right up over top of your hips, and then just do little tiny circles where you feel the tailbone, not the tailbone, the sacrum, that triangular bone at the bottom of your spine. Then do little ones, and it just kind of feels good on that bone. Go in either direction. And then you can also do bigger ones. So if you take a broader circle like this, you'll start to massage the muscles that are attaching to that sacrum. And just enjoying that. Now for Shavasana, I'll give you the classical standard cues for it. Bring your shoulders down the back and palms facing forward. Relax your legs down to the sides and let the legs relax open. Now if you don't like that, then change it. Bring your knees up. You could lay on your side. It's really fun to lay with your legs up a wall in Shavasana, so if you have that close to you, it's good for you. And just resting here about 3 minutes. Now, if you're feeling very relaxed and you'd like to stay resting for longer than I certainly invite you to do so. If you're ready to come up out of Shavasana and close practice with us, then go ahead and begin to slowly move around. Bringing your awareness back here to this space and deepening your breath. Gently roll over onto your side for a few breaths on the way up. And using the strength of your arms to help you up.
Right. Thank you for sharing your practice.